Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Cheaters Never Pin. Tom has nothing to say.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily an opening. Like, welcome back. Like, what am I supposed to go? Yes, welcome back, everyone.
I had
what
nothing.
he just said.
I had nothing. Yeah, you could just said that. That would have worked.
Well, rewind. I'll just.
All right.
Hi, welcome to Cheaters Never Pin.
Okay, hold on.
I'm JC.
All right, hold
Wait.
on. We can do that. Hold on.
Shut up and sit down.
You just have to play me, and I'll show you how it was supposed to be done. You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. I am your host and guidance counselor for the evening, JC.
It's about
With me, as
goddamn
always,
time. I'm
at the
Tom.
broadcast table is Mr. Workrate.
Hell yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Workrate?
Doing goddamn brilliant over here, JC.
Now, see, note I lead into an opening that you're supposed to speak. I go, hey, how you doing? See, that causes a response. I don't just sit there and kind of blink for several minutes.
Well, I was getting... Yeah, whatever. Let's just start this bullshit podcast. It's because I haven't seen you since you went to Chicago, so I'm all like... Our chi is out of whack, Tom.
Yeah, I'm still an hour off.
How is Chicago?
Chicago's doing well. Thanks you for asking.
I'm good. Did you and all the boys have lots of fun?
Yeah, there was very little wrestling involved. There was a decent amount of drinking involved, so I'm warmed up for our eventual drunk cast. But
you went to Chicago and didn't try to track down CM Punk.
Oh, I looked everywhere. When I got off the plane, I actually kind of got down on one knee and rubbed the ground, and then looked at my imaginary watch and said it was clobbering time.
That's fun. I mean, I can tell you, there's only one place I can tell you he wasn't, and it wasn't in a gym training in an octagon.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, he is undefeated this year in the octagon.
That's true. It'll be, 3 more years before we see him in his second fight?
Probably.
Because Dana gave him the sweetest damn deal ever. Jesus. Anyway, this is not the UFC podcast. This is
Thank
Cheaters
God.
Never Pin, where we talk pro graps.
Which is, fun and entertaining sometimes.
Cheaters Never Pin. Get your graps on. That look good on a t-shirt, Tom.
It would look good on a
It
t-shirt.
would look good on a t-shirt. Oh, but yeah, we got not a lot this week going on. Pretty quiet week in professional wrestling, other than I guess it was LaMelo Ball screaming the N-word in a great Booker T impersonation on Monday Night Raw. You saw this mess, right?
Live TV is live. What do you expect is going to happen with a giant, camera whore that the father ball is? I can't remember which one is which name. They all begin with L.
Call him Dad Ball. That works.
Yeah, Dad Ball.
Dad Ball.
I like probably my favorite part of that segment was watching him, Dad Ball, go through all of his things and then naturally, since he's not going on script, watching professional wrestlers watching Dean Ambrose specifically try to patiently let Dadball get all of his words out, and then like, okay, can I talk now?
I think I even tweeted, this was, like, to me at least, cringier than Kathy Lee and Hodo with Adam Rose. Because, they were at least playing along like they did what they were told. LeVar Ball completely went into business for himself.
Yeah.
And we've all seen wrestlers go into business for themselves. This was a whole new level, man.
Well, it's what happens when you're not in the business and you're put into a position with a live microphone.
Yep. And especially when you give a live mic to a guy who you, like, watch him on any interview he does, whether it was at the NBA draft last Thursday night, whether it's on ESPN and he's yelling at Stephen A., like, any of that, he is, and I get that that's his gimmick, is that he's insane, but, like, he is a huge salesperson for the Big Baller brand and the Tiny Balls, which are his children. So, like, that's what he's going to do to further his brand. So I don't understand how Vince or Kevin Dunn or whoever in creative services thought this was a great idea, because I knew it was going to be a disaster, and I was like, it's just going to be a bad segment. This was far above and beyond the chaos that I thought would happen. And it was disgusting to watch it happen in a wrestling ring. Like, I was disgusted that they invited this to happen.
And I like how, and I don't know how unscripted it was necessarily, and I forgot who said it in the announce team, had basically ripped the shoes.
Yeah.
It's like, almost like you're kind of pissed off that this asshole is taking up your airtime. So it's like, you know what? His shit sucks.
Yeah. I this is one of those times I've been like, I would love to have been in Gorilla when this was going on. Usually, the Gorilla would not be a fun place around Vince, just hearing him yell all the time.
Right.
But just to see him flip his freaking lid during this, especially when LaMelo starts yelling the N-word as loud as he can into a microphone repeatedly, which, news coming out, of course, he and Kevin Dunn were none too happy, and it was chaos backstage.
Right.
And then they had to release a statement Tuesday morning being like, we don't agree with those words. But hey, it may not be the media coverage they wanted, which was it's the entire thing. They know LeVar Ball is crazy, and he's going to get mainstream media coverage. And, ooh, look, we'll get some eyes on the product. That is not the attention they wanted.
But it's harkening back to the Attitude Era, though, that any attention is good attention, especially with ratings being, I guess, the way that they are. And from what I heard, I didn't actually do any deep research into it or anything like that. Didn't really help.
No. So, but saying do anything to get a rating, you're saying Russo is back, bro.
We haven't gotten that far, bro.
Did I ever make you watch I think we touched on it, the Cornette rant. I think we touched on this a couple weeks ago.
Cornette. Yeah. Yeah, I sat in my car in front of my house and listened to it.
So I'm reiterating the fact, if you've not seen Cornette shoot on Russo or heard it from his podcast, find it and listen. Because now Russo's issued a restraining order because he's a scared little pussy.
Yeah. And it's funny because technically you have to check off like one of 3 boxes, like, you know, has he abused you or whatever, and it's like it says that he's stalking him. Like, yeah, okay.
In that case, like, so who have we made
double
enough?
Cheese, double onion, motherfucker.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
God, if we could get Pritchard on here, fuck that Conrad guy, but if we could get Pritchard on here, that'd be
oh god.
Oh god, I'd be so
that
happy.
That podcast would be 7 hours long.
Just want to pick his brain. But like, the balls on Russo to be like, I'm scared. What? As if Jim Cornette is going to come attack somebody.
Jim Cornette is legitimately one of the least intimidating people on the face of the earth.
Exactly. He's living his gimmick. That's all he's doing. But and then like when the mics are off, when the camera is off, like he's Mama's boy from Louisville.
Yeah.
Like it's all he is. That's common knowledge. Everybody knows that.
I was going to say, and from what I've heard, I mean, despite his mouth or whatever, he's as long as you're not crossing him for whatever reason, he's one of the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, motherfucker. So that made me. I just brought up an interesting point, or an interesting discussion point. Who is truly the mouth of the South? Jim Cornette or Jimmy Hart? Tommy.
Okay.
Jimmy Hart should record our new intro music for this podcast. Yay or nay?
So when I was in Chicago, I had the opportunity to introduce some of the 328 brethren to the Hulk Rules album, which was produced, I think, and probably written for the most part by Jimmy Hart, because anything music related with Hulk Hogan has got Jimmy Hart all over it.
Yeah.
And if you have not heard this album and you enjoy horrible things, comically horrible things, not like, actual, bad things, but seek this out. You can find at least some of the songs on YouTube, but like there's a I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac song. Mm-hmm. So grab your pen, write these down. I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac is one, and the other one is Hulkster in Heaven.
I've heard bits of that one before.
The I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac song has this like funky generic techno beat, but for whatever reason Hulk is rapping on it, and Hulk is rapping pretty much anything that was on like a fourth grade say no to drugs, look both ways before like every like little bit of like any kind of like fortune cookie instruction to children, like don't look both ways before crossing the street. There's literally a line that in there that he says, always go swimming with a buddy. It's just random facts, because these are the things the Hulkamaniacs do. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to ruin it for you. You need to experience it yourself. And I was working when this CD first came out. I was working in a music store. Kids, music stores were places that people used to walk into and purchase CDs or cassettes where the recorded music was actually put onto before the use of computers. So, and this album came in, and I was running the store, and I looked at the guy that I was working with, and I said, we have to play this in the store right now.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. There it is.
I figure it's a good music bed for this.
I'll shut up and let this play a little bit.
Okay, I'll turn it up.
Yeah.
If you want to be a Hulkamaniac, I can sure tell you how to stay on track. You gotta train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins too. These are all the things that the maniacs do. Positive thoughts and positive deeds. These are the things that make succeed. Always be good to your family and friends. They're the only ones that'll be there in the end.
Okay, I think that's all we can get away with in fair use.
Yeah.
But if I fade it back, we'll just let it play while you're talking.
So, yeah, this is the type. We just played it in the store, and I think no one, like anybody who was in the store, left, and no one would stay. It was just this tremendous train wreck of music, and all these different styles, all these things done wrong. Yeah, I think I actually own it somewhere in this house, but. That's what Jimmy Hart does to music. I mean, listen to...
You mean this classic?
Oh, God.
I saw it on on TV. I guess I'll be one empty seat when I wrestle at Wembley. I used to tear my shirt, but now you tore my heart. I knew you were a Hulkamaniac right from the very start. Right from the start.
Oh, God.
You were my friend. I'll see you again.
Okay, all right. Fair use.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And the thing with Hulkster in Heaven, it's a legitimate song for a legitimate person who passed away.
Right.
And you feel bad laughing about it because it really is. It's the cheesiest. I mean, it is Rebecca Black Friday level of cheese.
Yeah.
So but at the same time, it's like I guess the heart was there, like, but I don't know.
But oh, brother, that's terrible, brother.
But brother, that's what happens when you let Jimmy Hart do music.
This entire tangent has made me think of something great that we will get to later in the show.
Okay, excellent.
And one person now knows what I'm talking about out there. One
All right,
person
then.
just got super excited. This is for you. Oh, you know what else people should get really excited about, Tom?
I have no idea, but you'll tell me, won't you?
Buying their very own Shut Up Tom t-shirt.
Oh, man, I wish I could do that.
You can, Tom.
How?
If you go to cheatersneverpin.com and click the Amazon button,
Okay.
and if you just search Shut Up Tom, it comes up.
It does.
It's the
Excellent.
first thing. And the best part about it is, not only are you supporting us by buying Tom's signature Jane hat on a t-shirt with hashtag Shut Up Tom on the front, since you click that little button on the front page, do all your other Amazon shopping, and it kicks a few shekels back into the old Section 328 Cheaters Never Pin coffers.
And I tell you what, if you actually buy a Shut Up Tom t-shirt, I will go all Bruce Pritchard, Tony Schiavone here. I'll call you if you really want it.
All right.
And here's the thing. I hate calling people so much.
So if you want to make Tom really uncomfortable,
It would be so uncomfortable.
cheatersneverpin.com, click the Amazon button, search Shut Up Tom, buy a damn t-shirt.
And I'll talk to you about whatever topics or whatever that you want, preferably wrestling, because if you're listening to this podcast, you actually enjoy wrestling, or I guess.
Something like that.
I'll assume. Not going too much far out on a limb here, but yeah. I mean, give me stuff to talk about, and I'll talk to you about it. You want me to initiate conversation? It's probably going to be a very quiet conversation, but I'll give you a call and we can talk about wrestling.
You could talk about the G1 with Tom. The
I'll
G1
talk about
Climax
that.
27 coming up. Are you excited?
I am excited. G1's my favorite tournament concept because when you have a tournament like, say, King of the Ring or whatever in America, you just have this single elimination, 16 to 8 to 4 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1. Apparently, we do a four-way dance at the end.
That's interesting.
But the way tournaments run in Japan, for the most part, and the way G1 runs is it's a round-robin tournament. Everybody faces everybody else. So you end up having these matchups, the upsets that come out of nowhere, the wrestler that wouldn't normally loses to the up-and-comer. So things like G1 can elevate somebody without necessarily having them win the tournament. So you don't completely screw up booking, but you take somebody who might be mid-card or at least trying to get into the mid-card, and with a good showing in something like G1 where maybe they win 3 or 4 out of the 8 matches that they have to go through.
Right.
They have a decent showing, and maybe they have that defeat over an intercontinental champion, or like the junior heavyweight champion or something like that makes people stand back and go, oh, this might be somebody to watch out for.
Yeah. And it's God, it's just lovely. And it's the best run of matches New Japan has all year. All the talent takes it to 11 throughout the entire tournament. Every year. So let's run down the G1 Climax 2017 blocks. Block A. We got Hiroshi Tanahashi, Hiroki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, Tetsuya Naito, Yuji Nagata, Togi Makabe, Zack Sabre Jr., and Bad Luck Fale. Goto was in the finals last year. Tanahashi is Japanese Cena.
Yeah.
Ibushi is a goddamn global treasure. Ishii gonna kill somebody. Naito's having the second best year of his career, because last year was his best year, I think.
But without a belt to destroy, what's he gonna do?
He could destroy the G1 briefcase, Tom.
It'll work.
Yeah. So that's a fun block. And Zack Sabre Jr. for the first time ever. He's the only first timer in this block. Block B. Current IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada. We got Satoshi Kojima, which is his last G1.
This whole year is making me sad.
I'm sorry, Tom. These old guys have to retire at some point.
Never.
They're all going to be in 6-man matches for another 20 years. Don't worry about it.
That's true.
Minoru Suzuki, Sonata, Juice Robinson in his first G1 Climax, Kenny Omega, Mike Elgin, Toru Yano, Evil, and Tama Tonga. Juice gonna get some big pops. I'm pulling for the Juice. Run through the Climax, Juice, run.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned, let's see, Block B. Suzuki,
the best part about Block B is the fact that both Omega and Okada are in it. So the very final match on the very last night, let me pull up the schedule here. Saturday, August 12th, final match of the G1 Climax, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega. Round 3, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Give me that. And it's a Saturday, so we might have to make plans, Tom.
It's funny. I was showing my son some New Japan thing, and it may have been the it was the 4 or 5 minute or whatever video where they introduced all the people that were going to be in G1.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to Toru Yano, and my son just looks at him like, well, what's his deal? I'm like, well, he's very happy and a little silly, and his finishing move is he punches people in the balls.
Yeah.
And then rolls them up.
And
then the little
DVDs.
segment right afterwards, it just shows him slamming them in the balls and rolling them up. He's like, oh, okay. And I go, and buy his DVDs. He's like, oh, I would probably buy his DVD.
And
I go, there you go.
And you got to do the little shrug. Little hands at your side. Kind of shrug. Huh? If the crowd, when he was wrestling, if the entire crowd started going, huh? And that was the chant, they were all doing that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening in Long Beach, California, I don't know is he going to be there? Let's find out. Let me go to this other tab here. No Toru Yano in G1 Special in USA, unfortunately.
And I ended up looking him up before, too, and realized, how much of an actual legitimate, wrestling champion he is.
Yeah,
amateur
really
wrestling skills are just off the chart. So, it's just kind of weird.
This year is real stacked, right, Tom? Not that every year isn't, because they're putting all of their top talent into one into one tournament. But I feel like this year has a different gravity to it.
They've managed. very unlike WWE, they've managed to make a large majority of their wrestlers very strong through one way or another, whether it be like, say, the Neverweight 6-man belt or just the Intercontinental Championship with Naito and like the various Bullet Club members looking strong here and there. It's like everybody's got their wins here and there. Nobody's kind of going into this where you look at them and go, well, he doesn't belong there.
It's because they don't incessantly beat the baby faces into the ground. They win sometimes. It's crazy.
I mean, just looking at B right now, it's like, well, I could see there's my block sheet in front of me. Like Kojima's barely gonna win.
He might go like
he's probably gonna pull the log.
3-4, 2-7. He'll go 2 or 7 and 3 and 4, 3 and 4.
I don't think Juice is gonna do that well.
You think so? I could see them with as over as he's been and as hot as his run is right now, like certainly giving him like at least a strong couple 2 or 3 wins at the beginning.
Right.
And then cooling him back off. But the crowd's super into him. I don't see them beating him down.
Yeah,
Tama Tonga gonna get some big wins.
Yeah.
I could see Toru Yano being the 1-8 guy in this block.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's not going to do anything. I mean, he just seems to be the guy that's there with the Corey. Yeah, whatever. I can never say that.
What? Try it.
In Corey Nobles or...
Los Gobernables de Japon. There you go.
The sounds that you made, yes.
Does Kenny win again? I mean, if they're going to set up the ultimate blow-off for Wrestle Kingdom, which, by the way, in case you don't know, the winner of this does have to defend their briefcase that holds their contract for a title shot at Wrestle Kingdom. But basically guaranteed the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
I don't know. I don't see Omega taking it.
I don't either. I see him winning. I see him winning.
Maybe winning the block.
But
I don't know.
Him having that, him and Okada being... Now, if Okada was in Block A, I'd be like, yeah, he's winning Block B, and that's going to be the blow-off of the tournament. Or is going to be those two.
So, do we have Okada win the block, but Omega beats Okada in the block? But with Okada winning the block, and then Okada putting somebody else over in a block who ends up winning the whole thing.
And sets up a short-term feud until we can no, because then that doesn't circle back around. Well, unless you have Omega beat the winner and gets the contract. That I think this makes the most sense to string it out because we need
kind of have a triangle.
Yep, because I think we have to keep Okada and Omega away from each other for a while,
right?
Until January.
But Omega gets his win over Okada, so you have Okada got the original win at Wrestle Kingdom in January. They had the 60-minute draw, and now, since it's almost kind of like, oh, well, was that the blow-off? Well, okay, well, you got to have Omega and Okada fight one more time because they're in the same block.
Right.
And you have Omega potentially win over Okada because I could see them drawing a 30-minute draw. These are 30-minute matches, I think.
I believe
I could see them going 30 minutes, but you'd have Omega taking the win, so then you're even. You have 1-1 and 1 for both sides.
That's how you do it. You do the draw again, and because of the point differential, Okada still takes it.
Now, see, I don't think you necessarily draw. I think you get Omega gets his win to prove the fact that I can beat him, but he's not going to win the block for whatever reason.
And then
So
that
then-
builds anticipation for January because you're like, well, they each have one up on each other now.
Because somebody
Tie ball
else is
game.
going to get that title shot against Okada in January, and Kenny's like, no, now I'm at the point where I can take this because I've now proven that I can beat him.
Yep.
I know it now. And then he's going to be going after whoever's got the title shot, whoever wins G1, so that he can get that title shot because he knows now that he has the ability to beat Okada.
Ghetto, I know you're listening. Write this down.
He's actually in my house right now.
What? Why did you bring him over here? It would have been.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's
can you-
Jado. My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say. Well, can you put
I
Jado?
get confused sometimes.
Can you put Jado on the line? Let's interview him.
He said no.
Didn't want to follow through with that bit, huh? Worried about where that one was gonna go.
I'm trying to keep the offensive stuff to a minimum.
Yeah, we're not LaMelo Ball. Got him. All right. So before the G1 ever starts, we have G1 special in USA this weekend. Friday and Saturday.
That's this
night.
weekend.
That is this weekend,
God.
sir. Friday night. Is it Friday and Saturday? July 1st and 2nd? Or is that Saturday, Sunday? I don't know dates and stuff so good. Anyway, July 1st and 2nd. Live from
All right.
Long Beach, California.
July 1st would be Saturday.
So it's Saturday night, live on Access TV. Second night, live on New Japan World.
Gee, what are we doing on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think I have to work.
Yep, we do.
I know what we're doing at work.
Can we? But that's going to be on Access. Oh,
Tom,
I'll have to see.
Tom, there are ways.
I have no idea. Yes, I know because I have Sling TV, and I believe Access is on Sling TV.
Oh, that's even better than
So
trying to find some janky stream with memes popping up over it every 30 seconds. Not naming any websites.
why are they all Russian?
Night one, so Saturday night. Starts off with, how do you know this is a New Japan show? The first match is a 10-man tag.
And 6 of those guys are wearing black tights.
Right, because they're in Bullet Club. Bad Luck Fale, Marty Scurll, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi,
Love him.
take on Team Chaos. Wow, I don't know why I was struggling to say that word. Trent?
Team or Chaos?
Chaos. Team Chaos. A team from
Cows?
A team from Chaos. Trent? Beretta? Which I really wish he went by Trent in New Japan too. It really makes me sad that he does. Because every time I see him, I just say that out loud to my TV. I go, Trent? Okay. So Beretta, Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, Rocky Romero, Will Ospreay. I mean, it'll be a fun match.
Yeah.
Be a fun 10-minute chaos.
I was going to say, that's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's going to be a spot pin. Next
Everybody
match.
gets a ... dive.
And Brian Cage isn't there to yell, I'm getting my shit in. It's very sad. And then that match follows up with an 8-man tag team match. Dragon Lee, Liger, Titan, Volador Jr. take on what team, Tom? Bushi,
I don't know.
Evil, Hiromu Takahashi, and Sonata, who make up part of
The Incredibles.
it's the Ungovernables.
The Uncrustables.
The
of
Uncrustables.
Evil.
Tom, t-shirt idea. The Uncrustables de Japon.
Yes, I'm good with that.
We got 2 t-shirt ideas in the hopper tonight, folks.
I would wear that trucker hat too.
Oh, God, yes. Hangman Page takes on Jay Lethal in a first-round IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. I'm assuming Lethal goes over.
I am too, but it's taken me a little while, but I kind of dig Hangman Page. I guess just because
He's all right.
I like the dorky Texan
Dorky Adam Page.
noose,
Yeah.
type gimmicks. It's trying to bring back kind of like a Stan Hansen-ish kind of dorky Texan. So yeah,
He's fine. I like him. He's good work. He's good hand.
they like that. They like that in Japan.
Yep. Next match. Or next, what do they call them? Next game? Is that what they call them on New Japan World?
Yes.
So this is game 4. Another first round United States tournament match. Juice Robinson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Gonna assume it's probably Juice. Because I'm a huge Juice mark. But it's probably Zack Sabre Jr. 8-man tag action in game 5. David Finlay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jay White, and Kushida take on. I don't know what his gimmick is going to be, but it is either the one or Mr. Ass himself, Kip Sop, Billy Gunn, with Sho Tanaka, Yohei Komatsu, and Yoshitatsu. Because Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn is a thing.
He's there. Guerrillas of Destiny take on War Machine for the IWGP Tag Titles. I know you'll be watching that match close. It's going to be your match of the night, Tom.
Oh, you know me so well.
I know how much you love War Machine.
The,
so do you think... oh my god, so this just occurred to me. It's going to be on national television, and you've got the Guerrillas of Destiny going into a match, knowing they're going to yell motherfucker at the top of their lungs 30 times.
Against John Tenta Jr. and Fat Carl Anderson?
Tetsuya Naito takes on Tomohiro Ishii in a first-round match, and Kenny Omega takes on Big Mike Elgin in a first-round match.
So, not to jump too far ahead, but Elgin's taking this title, right?
No. I think Omega ends up winning this. So then, January 4th in the Tokyo Dome, it is champion versus champion.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, speaking of champion versus champion, Game 9, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is defended by Kazuchika Okada against new Ring of Honor World Champion, Cody, who defeated Christopher Daniels Friday night.
And got his face busted as a result.
Yep, got a few stitches on the lip. And then cut a promo on the Revival in the least shocking moment of the night. Because I love that he does that. Night 2, Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles. Tanahashi defends the Intercontinental Championship against Billy Gunn.
He's taking it.
I'm like, part of me really wants to see that happen, just to see the internet melt for a second. I like the chaos of that.
Kind of like when Will Ospreay does the job for Vader.
Right. Then we get the semifinals and finals matches of the tournament. So if you don't think Omega's winning, who do you think is winning? My money is on Omega. It feels right, especially to put that belt in his hands, to be kind of the U.S. facing arm of New Japan.
I mean, that was my general assumption when it was first announced, but I don't know. Elgin sticks out there to me.
But does he...
That U.S. title to me doesn't seem like a top title. It seems like a second-tier title.
But if you put it on Omega, it's immediately elevated. If you put it on Elgin, it's a mid-tier title.
But that's all it's meant. I mean, they have the Intercontinental title, which they've built up. And
well, Tom, when they come up with the never hardcore United States 6-man tag belts, then that can go to Elgin. Then you'll have him, because we got to add a never belt for America, obviously. Because, if there's one thing New Japan needs, mo belts.
I swear, that sounds like a belt that I'd make up in WWE 2K17 just to see how many things that I could string together and have them announce.
The never open weight hardcore 6-man tag team championship.
Yeah.
I like it. Elgin's. Oh, I mean, I see. I understand your thought process, but I don't see them doing it.
Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. You know what's going to be fun, though, when we're watching that?
What, JC?
We're going to be getting ready for our drunk cast, Tom.
We are.
Yup.
And I've got previous experience with them, so I know how this kind of thing works.
July 28th, we will be recording the first ever Cheaters Never Pin and Drink and Drive podcast with our good buddies from Section 328, two of our dearest friends, Dan at Dantendo64, or did he change his Twitter handle too? Is it at Dantendo Switch? I don't know. One of the two.
I think it's Nintendo 64 still.
Yeah. He changed it to Slack. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And at Love and Hydrogen, our very own Meg. We're all going to get together, and we're going to drink a lot, and then we're going to keep drinking while we watch probably 3 hours of wrestling, because I'm pretty sure we're watching a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Key part here, they don't watch wrestling. So Tom and I are going to have to explain things to them, and we're going to get their perspective.
And we're seeking out possibly not as obscure, but something that we'd have to explain more than something else, like, a traditional, straightforward wrestling event. Not as much fun to kind of explain as like some of the various WWE gimmicks that have gone through over the years. So
this is where you can help. Number one, if you have an idea for what we can make Dan and Meg watch, hit us up in the pin box, #pinbox, at CheatersNVRPin on Twitter. Let us know what you think. I still think WrestleMania X7. It's a good mix of everything. Good wrestling, crazy matches, gimmick battle royal, Lemmy.
Yeah.
That's my vote. But we've batted around a ton of ideas. So we gotta start locking down plans. The other way you can get involved is obviously you want to hear this. And there's only one way to hear it. Do you want to tell them what that is, Tom?
I can tell them. It's to become a Patreon of ours. So if you go to cheatersneverpin.com and click on the Patreon button, for as little as $1 a month, one single dollar,
$1,
4 quarters, 10 dimes, 100 pennies, 52-cent pieces, if such a thing existed.
Yen. Roughly.
Yeah, 100 yen, roughly, depending on exchange rates that particular day. You can become a Patreon of the entire Section 328 group, which includes not only the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, but the Cheaters Never Win podcast, which just recently threw down its own drunken podcast, which is only available to Patreon subscribers. And let me tell you, having been there in person, it went off the rails rather quickly.
Having listened to it, I can fully confirm that.
I will tell you, and hopefully for the Cheaters Never Pin Drunkcast, I will do a very important thing and realize that if I'm going to talk, it should be with a microphone.
We gotta get a room mic, Tom.
Because nearly 50 to possibly 70% of the things that I said on the Drunk podcast, you can barely hear because I'm yelling them from the other side of the room.
Yep. Yeah. Patreon or cheatersneverpin.com. Click the Patreon button. Just $1.
I mean, if you want to contribute more, that'd be great. We'd be so appreciative.
Oh, yeah.
But
you get to listen to these two assholes get drunk. And then you get to listen to two of our friends get drunk who don't watch wrestling and all talk wrestling.
And there's other stuff too. I mean, depending on the amount that you wish to contribute, there's
We got T-shirts.
perks in there for T-shirts.
We got stickers.
And there's going to be more stuff coming up along the way.
Hopefully,
but,
actual Cheaters Never Pin stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Fingers crossed.
truckers' hats could be a possibility. And
Los Uncrustables de Japon. Tom, that's got to be our first T-shirt now.
That may be.
All right.
I got to get our design team on that.
Yeah, we got to get that in the Meister Task app. Get up on that.
Yeah.
Yep. So Tom, before we get to match exchange, let's wrap up real quick talking about Money in the Bank 2.0, also known as SmackDown Live last night.
Yeah. We predicted the outcome of that pretty
Holy
clearly.
shit, everything happened the exact same.
Pretty much as expected, the outcome of the ladder match, the Money in the Bank ladder match, rematch, I guess, was basically them doing the match with the finish that they should have done in the first place. That did not involve James Ellsworth directly taking the case and throwing it down to Carmella. It involved Carmella actually taking the case.
Right.
And
And
would
the
have
four
been
other
fine.
women looking on in complete disgust.
Yeah.
And Becky got to dump him off a ladder, which is what everyone wanted.
Yeah. Crotched on the top rope, which is...
Oh, yeah, he took that like a champ, too.
Yeah.
I mean, right on the Jesus zipper. Like, dead on. I was very proud of him.
R.I.P. Ellsworth's taint. Never forget.
Forget. I will. All right, so now I was going to say we need to make a YouTube video that's just pictures of his taint with Sarah McLachlan in the background.
Nope, nope.
And then Naomi retained against Lana. Oh my god! In like 45 seconds. It was probably 2 minutes, but.
And I remember in our little group chat thing, somebody going, who did Lana piss off this time? It's not Lana. Lana is in the spot that she's in right now with Naomi because she can't be in she can't be in Money in the Bank because she is not ready for a ladder match. My God. And there's only one other woman left in the division. So she's either in the ladder match or she's wrestling Naomi. And she does not deserve to have a 10-minute match with Naomi because Naomi is that much better than she is.
Yeah.
We have to establish that if you were to grab an old PWI and do the rankings of the women of SmackDown, Naomi would be on top for she is the champion, and Lana would be last.
Yep.
That is just how it is. So if the person who is last takes on the champion, that person should lose and lose pretty easily.
Yep. They did it right this time. Both of these matches were better than they were at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
The title match, because that's how long it should have been in the first place.
Right.
And then secondly, the women's Money in the Bank match, I just enjoyed that match overall better. I thought it was the spots were better. It was a better worked match. And I think it's because they got the jitters out of the way in the first one. Because now they had experience with it. And I think that's what we talked about last week was the nerves going into it and not knowing what to expect probably played a big role in it.
Yeah, and I mean, they were still cautious, but I mean, again, you go into it, you take a few of the ladder spots because, and again, I don't know how much really you can practice ladder spots.
Right.
Especially if you're on the road. It's one thing, when you do training in the performance center or whatever, that's one thing, but you generally don't do ladder training. So it's tough to practice those spots, and again, they can be scary. I mean, it's legitimate, opportunity to get injured. So they did a few of the spots actually on the actual pay-per-view, and you kind of go through them and go, okay, well, that wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you do them again on Tuesday, it's a little bit easier.
Yep. The other most important news Coming out of SmackDown Live Tuesday, the Punjabi Prison is back at Battleground. I don't know if I can't wait or if I just want to bang my head against the wall until brain matter leaks out.
Now, I had kind of gotten away a little bit from WWE in the Great Khali's time. So I had heard about the Punjabi Prison match, but I haven't hit the network to actually watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I want to, because
don't.
Great Khali matches are...
You don't.
Yeah. So it's like a steel reinforced bamboo.
Correct. Most importantly, the bamboo is reinforced with steel.
Which, I mean,
LOL. Even Daniel Bryan was making fun of that fact on Talking Smack.
That must really piss off pandas.
Well, fuck WWF and all.
I see why they do this now.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
There you go. So it'll be a match, and I'm sure we're going to have things to say about it when it happens. But yeah, the Punjabi Prison's coming back. So set your, I was going to say DVRs, but I guess you don't need to re-up your network subscription. Get ready, kids.
$9.99 a month.
Yep. All right, Tom. One last thing on the docket tonight. You ready?
Yeah. Let me brace myself.
Are you
okay?
Are you sufficient?
I'm braced.
Okay. Oh man, I didn't change the input back to the right iPad. Are you still braced?
Well, okay. I'll brace myself again.
Oh god, I'm terrible at this. Oh god. Oh god, it's too quiet. Oh god, this is what happens when we try to add other elements like Hulk Hogan's album into the show. There we go.
Match exchange.
Nailed it.
First time, every time.
First off, before we actually start the match exchange, I need to give a salute. That's 3. That's 6. That's 9. Okay, that's 11. An 11 bell salute to 10 count because it's dead. Because we're trying to shorten this podcast for y'all.
I will remember. No, I'm not even going to do that. That's
just picture.
We've just lost everyone. Just
pictures of Ellsworth's taint and the 10 count set to Sarah McLachlan songs
and Kojima's dog.
So you watched Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shinsuke Nakamura in Rev Pro.
Yes. So I forgot why I liked Shinsuke Nakamura.
WWE will make you do that with people.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, a year and a half or so? Not a year and a half, about a year and a quarter.
Yeah.
Of watching NXT matches and whatever and going, oh, I like him because of his charisma and that type of thing. But no, this was old Nakamura. This is the Nakamura that they were purchasing when WWE and H went out and got him.
I believe it's pronounced Hache.
Yeah. And I think I've mentioned before, I'm not a huge Zack Sabre Jr. fan. But this match was right in his wheelhouse because the Zack Sabre that I've seen more than a few times has been this kind of basically submission-based guy who throws a few kicks here and there and that type of thing, but still working the arm because that's, his finish. But it's like he basically went toe-to-toe with Nakamura and threw Nakamura's offense back at him. These two matched up beautifully. And just the exchange and they were stiff, and I enjoyed it a lot. Again, it was the Nakamura that I fell in love with. It was Zack Sabre basically doing his best to be Nakamura, which I enjoyed, and both of them going back and forth, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Good. Drop some stars on me, Melts.
We'll go 4.25.
4.25. Yeah, that's it. That's fair. I got to watch Hijo de Santo and Octagon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Versus
I forget.
Versus Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero, whose name I just blanked on for a second, which I should be murdered for.
Careful, Benoit.
Wow. So the version of this that I watched on YouTube, it skipped a significant portion of the match between the second and third. 2 out of 3 falls match, hair versus mask, by the way. It skipped everything between the second and third fall. It just fast forwarded. So I got to watch the first 2 falls. Just solid match. Not, some good lucha from the Hijo de Santo and Octagon, who's dressed curiously like Pentagon.
Mm.
And then good, just strong mat stuff from the Gringos. Enjoyed it. It was nothing like crazy flashy, but it was just a very well worked, well told story through the match, with Guerrero and Bar getting the first fall and the lucha guys getting the second fall. Then the video it even says fast forward, and it jumps to 3 minutes before the final fall. And so when the video comes back, all I see is there's a picture-in-picture of Octagon being put on a stretcher. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is he down there? And of course, there's no explanation because they fast-forwarded through it. And Hijo de Santo gets... this was a weird rule. On the last fall, you have to pin both guys from the other team. Okay. So he pins Art Bar first. Crowd starts getting pretty hot. Then he manages to, after he's 3/4 dead, get the pin on Eddie. Given the fact I didn't see almost an entire follow of this match, I'm going to rate it based on what I saw, and it's 3 3/4.
Okay.
Because it was solid. It didn't make me go wow at any point from what I saw, which it's the first 2 falls of the match. It shouldn't, because it hasn't built to that point.
Right.
But it was good, and I can tell kind of where they were going, but I don't know what happened. And then you got them cutting hair, which is always fun, with the crowd just losing their freaking minds. 3 3/4.
Yeah. I'll find a way to get you that third fall.
Okay.
Because, again, I mean...
There may be another copy of it on YouTube, but the one I'd linked to cheatersneverpin.com did not have that. So, Tom, what do you got for me this week, sir?
All right, so I'm going old and retro on you again.
Okay, I like that. That's what I wanted this to be.
That seems to be my wheelhouse, but I'm going very retro on you, or as retro as I'm willing to go, because I'm not going to make you watch some George Hackenschmidt type.
Just catch as catch can professional wrestling.
This is from April 25th, 1981.
Okay.
And I feel the need to, I'll pre-screen this to make sure this is the right, actually gives you the entire match.
All right.
But from Memphis, Jerry the King Lawler, because Memphis,
right, takes
on Terry Funk
in
an empty arena match.
Okay. I'm hella down with this.
This is a legendary type match just because of I forget what the actual circumstances were, but it was pretty much one of those things where it's like, I don't want you in a match in front of like everybody else. I don't need to do it for the fans. I just you and me a fight. I don't want it to be a
I
wrestling match.
just want to whoop your ass.
Yeah. So,
It's my Terry Funk.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Please don't. I'm really excited to watch this.
But yeah, it's an interesting match. I will just say this going into it is just like it opens up. Well, at least the thing starts off with Lance Russell talking to God, I can't think of his name, but his partner. I want to say Burt Prentice, but that might be it. But anyway, on the TV show, because they kind of have to introduce the segment and then they go to it, and Lance Russell, they cut to Lance Russell, and again, like half of Memphis, as proven in the concession stand brawl thing I made you watch a few weeks back, is just like Lance Russell, like seemingly not knowing why things are being recorded or whatever. When they start recording, when they cut to it, like Lance Russell's just smoking a cigarette. Like, what? We rolling? Oh, okay, fine. And that's just what. And then like the two guys just show up and start to fight.
Oh, I'm excited. All right, Tom.
Yeah.
I got two for you. One thing is the match.
Okay.
And I'll start with that. And in honor, and we'll talk about this next week. Give you time to watch it. But in honor of Glow debuting on Netflix, I have for you Americana versus Ninotchka in their first Glow crown match.
Oh, yes.
I have watched this whole match because I was like, and I got the inspiration for this from your wife, by the way.
Okay.
She was telling me today that she used to watch it on Saturdays, and I was like, yeah, I've never seen any of it. I got to go back and watch it. Then I was like, oh, crap, that's what I have to give Tom tonight. So.
All right, so I'll blame her.
Yep. Americana, Ninotchka, first match for the Glow Crown. That's your match exchange.
I'm looking forward to that because in times I've wanted to go back and watch some Glow just because I watched it growing up and how, good, bad it was.
Yeah. All right.
And it's hard to find, or at least it had been in the past. I don't know if the Netflix show kind of got more people uploading and like made the actual Glow matches more accessible or what. But.
Right. The second one I have for you is inspired by what we were talking about earlier, because our very own Derek gave me a suggestion for something for you.
All right.
And since we were talking about bad wrestling music,
okay,
I need you to review Macho Man Randy Savage. Don't put this on me, because it was given to me for you. And I'm only going to pick one song off the album. And you have to listen to Macho Man Randy Savage sing Be a Man.
I think was this the diss track to Hogan?
I think so. I'm reasonably sure.
Okay.
But yeah. Not my fault. Blame it on Derek.
And I think this is why I ended up sharing that Hulk Rules song with Derek, because Derek had asked me about the Macho Man.
He must have texted me before this then. I'm not going to sit and go through my texts. But yeah.
I'm assuming that the things were connected. Like you may have mentioned it. It's like the two of you may have been mentioning it, and then it reminded him to mention it to me, or vice versa. He brought it up to me. Then I'd said, oh yeah, I haven't really listened to it. And he's probably like, just got onto the phone with you immediately. And it was like, yep, you need to make him listen to this.
Yep. So you have two assignments. Granted, one's a song, but I'm excited. All right, Tom, tell the people, the fine listeners of this podcast, where they can find you on the internet.
if you turn on the internet machine and go to the Twitters, feel free to find me at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. You can find me on other pieces of social media, but I really don't follow those things, nor do I care about them. So if you really wish to be one of my top 8 friends on MySpace, go for it. I don't even know how to log into it anymore, so good luck with that.
Be in his top 6. You can find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT, on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Snapchat, Tumblr, Bumble, Tinder, wherever. Just hit me up, girl. Hey, how you doing? And that was weird. I don't know why I took it that direction. But let's just move on. You can also follow the show.
In case you need to send a wolf, I'm rewatching The Office again, so.
Oh.
That was Ryan's thing. Send a wolf, and it goes through every single social media thing. And
hit me up on the wolf. Yeah. You can find the show facebook.com/cheatersneverpin, at cheatersinvrpin on the Twitter, and wherever you're listening to us right now. 1, thank you. You're great. You rock. 2, rate, review, and subscribe this show. And 3, tell a friend about us. Tell one friend. I don't care if they like wrestling or not. We're real funny guys. They'll enjoy our comedy.
I know this. I know your friend. Your friend would like us.
Your friend would love
your
us.
Your friend will be mad if you don't tell them about you.
Right.
Tell them about you. I'm having pronoun problems.
Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go home. So for everyone here at the Cheaters Never Pin World Enterprises, we thank you for listening tonight. And we will certainly catch you next week. Oh, God, I'm like falling apart on this here. There we go. I figured this is the only way to go out. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All hail Colbus.